person that I have with me today exudes so much of positivity. She calls herself a people person. And she's somebody who will always tell you that keep yourself inspired. What's her story? We will know. Hi, I'm Arthi Karthik. Welcome to today's episode of How's the Josh. और बहुत सारी जोशीली बातें करेंगे आज हम किसके साथ? आशना लिडर के साथ. Hi Aashna.
Hello, it's such an honor to be on this show.
My pleasure that you took out time. So, how is SRCC treating you?
So firstly, I think it took me a while to just accept that I'm in the college, but I'm loving it. It's great.
You're loving it, especially being in SRCC?
Yes, I think the college, the name, the people, it's great. It's a great college.
So, you're doing BCom Honours there?
I'm doing BCom Honours.
Something that you've been wanting to do?
Yes. BCom Honours has been on the charts for very, very long. So, yes.
And what do you intend to be, though we keep changing our mind?
Yes, every movie we watch, we change our mind. But I'm hoping to get into marketing.
Okay.
And so a classic BCom Honours, MBA marketing.
Okay.
That's the plan.
That's lovely. And you've been a COVID batch student, is it?
Yes.
So, कैसा था transition from school to college? Farewell था तुम्हारे? You got a farewell?
Luckily we got a farewell.
Okay.
So I'm from Army Public School Dhola, and I had the craziest, most fun time in the 2 years I was in that school. And I joined it in 11th with the intent of, oh, यहाँ तो मेरे बहुत friends हैं, बहुत मजे आएंगे. But then we had to be online, and so that got a little lonely. But eventually we all lived in the same area, same cants, and we had a lot of fun. 12th was tough because so much happened in the year I was in 12th. But it was, it panned out. It was good at the end.
You took out the best that the year had to give.
Yes,
yeah?
Truly.
Yeah, I think especially getting into SRCC is a dream of every Delhi child.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's a dream college. When you get in, it's a dream as well. It's a fun college. It's a good college.
But you also have to work hard because SRCC is not an easy place to be.
Yes. I think you, when you're in school, you're say the first or second in your batch and you get so used to it. And then you're in a college where everyone's the head girl of their school and everyone's
They're all the best of the best. Huh?
Yes. So it gets very competitive, and as of now, I'm not really studying. I need to start. But yes, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll get there. So how has your writing been going on? कुछ नया लिख रहे हो?
अभी तो कम थोड़ा. I think after the first book and then I think after last year December, for a very long period of time I was only writing about loss, and I was only writing about grief and losing someone and everything. So I think now with college and new people, it's an onset to new writing. So I'm compiling a few things. Let's see what.
But I think whatever you have written about everything that you have written in the last year, I think you should keep it and you should publish it.
Yes, that's what my mom says. That's what my mom
nice.
says. Nice.
She also thinks like me. So, In Search of a Title, who thought of this, In Search of a Title? Was it you?
No, actually. So I was in search of a title in real life, and we were stuck between trials, tribulations, musings of a teenager, etc., etc. We had a lot of ideas. My initial idea, which no one actually knows, was cryptic. I wanted to name my book Cryptic. Because I used to love that word, and I used to think, because I am so uncryptic in life, my book should be the opposite of that. But then I think that was too short and it was a little boring. So we were in search of a title till the last day, until the publisher said कि अब तो हमें title दो.
चाहिए.
Yeah, अब तो चाहिए. And then my mom was like, let's just call it In Search of a Title. So it sounded good. It had a ring to it.
Yeah, it sounds very intellectual.
It does. It's very pseudo-intellectual.
So it's like you read my book and whatever you think could be the title.
Exactly.
You can make it the title.
Yes. So I made it into that. That was my philosophy when we were marketing the book. But yes.
Wonderful. So how were the book reading sessions?
So the book launch was very, very nice. It was actually my parents' birthday gift to me. The entire event, and it was lovely. It was very, very nice. Everyone enjoyed a lot. And then, of course, we had the Lit Fest, and then that's where I met you also. So all of those book readings went really well, very enjoyable. People had so many, I think people have so many questions to ask, which you also don't think of when you're writing.
Exactly.
So it was very fun. It was.
So what were the interesting questions that came about to you?
Some of the poems which I think I wrote just without thinking. I just wrote it as a matter of fact. Really stuck to people.
Okay.
And some of the poems which I think would have an impact on people like they did on me didn't have that big an impact. So I was always very mesmerized by people's perspective. I remember at the Jaipur, at the Ambala Lit Fest, this young girl, 10th grader I think, came to me and said my favorite poem of the entire book is, and I was guessing in my head what could it be, and I never thought it would be this poem called Short and Sweet. So that is something I wrote in like 3 that. So I think knowing different perspectives really stuck to me.
I think it is also that when I as a layman, I'm reading something, if something is very simple to understand,
That's true. It relates a lot more.
So take back zyada hota hai probably.
True.
So how many lit fests have you attended after your book launch?
After the book launch, I think I've attended around 3.
Okay.
3, 4. One I couldn't attend at Jaipur because I had college. But yes, I enjoyed all of them. I attended one with my mom, which was like her show, so I was just there. But yeah,
it was the Ava Lit Fest.
It was the Ava Lit Fest Jaipur.
At Jaipur, yes, I was there.
Yes,
I was there.
Yes.
So, are you planning to write something else?
I am planning. I wanted to diverge out of poetry, but that's very hard on me because I'm not a reader. For someone who writes, I don't read at all. So I need to, I think, start reading about newer things to think of like a novel or prose. So I'm trying to divulge out.
In fact, talking about authors, I interviewed Mrs. Sutapa Basu. So she says that for an author, the most important thing is to read every day.
Yes.
Because when you read every day, when you read new people, you think that, oh, why can't I use this context?
Yes.
Or why couldn't I use this specific, anecdote or a phrase?
Or a phrase,
so,
yes.
So she says, if you want to be a writer, then reading should... you have to take out time every day.
Absolutely. And I think I need to really diversify my reading also because there was, I think for a good 5 years, I've only read Shashi Tharoor and Chetan Bhagat and political books. And now I really need to start reading young adult also because if you want to cater to an audience that's your age, you need to read stuff your age.
Exactly.
So
you can't have so much of Lari language.
Exactly. They won't understand.
So true. Unless you gift a dictionary to each one of them. Yeah, with your book.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, what's on your mind these days? You've also been interning with Barkha Dutt. How was it?
So I was interning with Barkha Dutt for 2 to 3 months, and obviously we're in touch. We talk a lot. I think I learned a lot in that internship from her, and because it's a small organization, so you get a lot of direct contact with Barkha ma'am herself. There's so much to learn. It's crazy. It really makes me sometimes want to get into journalism. So that's in the back of my head. But
I think you should try journalism. You would do very well because I think you are a people's person, like you call yourself one, right?
Yes.
So, what do you think is the most important aspect to be a people's person or call yourself a people's person?
I think being with people is, if your sense of, everyone has a different sense of fun, which as we grow up, we sort of understand. And when I look back, I think since I was around 2-3 years old, my sense of fun was being around people. And that was also because I'm an only child and I was born late to my parents. So when I was born late, I was born in Dehradun. I was born when my parents were in Dehradun, and then dad went to the unit directly. So, I mean, I had no kids my age. I was just with youngsters and their newlyweds and everything. So my mom would leave me with them and I got to interact with them so much, and it made me like a very talkative person, very pampered, talkative child. So I think that's when I started loving interacting with people.
And how has the transition been for you from a teenager to becoming a young adult, who thinks probably more seriously on topics which are close to your heart?
True. I think the change, and I was thinking about this when I was thinking of the interview a little before, is I think there's not much change in my opinion, but there's been change in the intent behind the opinion. In the sense, I remember when I was in 8th and 9th grade, when I say just opened my Twitter or something, I would probably say a lot of things because I would see so many college kids sitting in protests, and I would think being revolutionary is being opposing something or negating something. But I mean, my opinions have remained the same for a very long time, but I think the intent behind my opinions is now very like a knowledgeable opinion instead of just a frivolous one. So maybe that's the difference.
Thinking before
you say anything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you have a lot of followers on digital
on Twitter
platforms, yeah? So I was just seeing before I met you today. Would you generally tell your, people who follow you on Twitter or Insta?
I think Instagram, I have a poetry page, so not much, just poems. And I love that page. I started it 3 years back, so it's my first sort of public account. Twitter, I think my followers tell me more than I tell them. They have a lot of things to say. They have a lot of opinions. And I remember day before, I think, my nanny called up my mom and she's like, tell Aashna to shut up a bit on Twitter. She talks too much on Twitter. But I love Twitter. I think it's... I think it's a very intellectual platform if you use it the right way. And you learn a lot from a lot of people on Twitter.
I think digital platforms, if we want to use it the right way, it's a very positive place to be in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Talking about positivity, Aashna, your mother is a very positive lady, and she always had that beautiful smile, right? Very calm and composed. So, what's the biggest source of learning that you've had from your mother?
Lots before I was 17, a lot of things I saw her do as I was growing up, but off late, I think after we lost my dad, that's something you never think of. So when I saw her deal with that with such grace, unthinkable levels of courage and grace, and not just externally. I mean, anyone can be graceful externally, but if you're internally pure and graceful and you wish well on other people, I think it really shows, and that's what I've learned from her. I've seen her be so happy inside out for other people and be so content with whatever we have, even though, and she says this to me so often, and when we initially lost my dad, she'd always say, it's like we lost the crown jewel of our lives, and we did. But the amount she has grown and she has done after him gone also, I could never think a person like her could do. Because if you knew my mom when my dad was there, it was always, I think the face of our family was always my dad, and he was always the extroverted one and out there and the leader and everything. And my mom always was on her own,
She was happy being the shadow there.
Yes, she was happy shadowing him around. And I remember her, the first few things she said to me after the incident was, I never thought I could live without him. And she's done so well after that. So just seeing that, I think, makes me want to believe in her strength so much more.
And imbibe a lot more from her, yeah? Yes. I was reading your Twitter, so you had written that my mother says that we don't move on, we move with. So that's something very short yet so strong.
Yes, absolutely. She said that, some days are obviously very tough. When I see some of my dad's friends, some of the closest uncles I have, I really miss him. Or when we're at a party and someone's dancing, I always remember how he used to dance and everything. So I remember we came back home and I said, I really missed him today. And she was just like, I think sometimes we need to learn that we'll always miss him. That pain never goes, but you just
learn to accept and learn and live.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Along with the pain.
Yes.
So tell me, like, your father was your best friend. He was your hero. He will be your hero, right? He had such amazing positivity. There must be hundreds of things that you love about him. But what is the best of the best that you want to imbibe of your dad's?
Apart from, I want to say hard work, but it would sound too cliched. Apart from hard work and working smart, I think maybe he had this very, very peculiar quality of making everyone feel like he was their best friend or they were his best friends. And it just came so naturally to him because he was such a people's person. I remember the initial few days last December, people would come over to our house and everyone would say he was my best friend. And or some child would be like, oh, you know, he was the only uncle who talked to us. And to him, it just came so naturally. So I think maybe making everyone feel special in their own right is something I'd want to take away from him.
Wonderful. And talking about inspiration, you know, what keeps you inspired? Because you are there, you speak your mind, especially on digital platforms. So you ask your mom that, Mom, should I be posting this, or is it about you? Is it only Aashna who does it?
If I asked my mom, I don't think I would be on social media. If I asked my mom, I think my mom tells me every day that just calm down. But social media is all me. I post whatever I want to without thinking much. With my mom also, I think if my mom had control of my social media, there'd be no pictures of her.
Okay.
Because she would just say, nahi, just keep it to yourself. Don't put photos of me. But yeah, so I tweet or I write on behalf of the both of us, but on my own thought.
You plan to write something for your mother in your next book?
Maybe I think like maybe a dedication or a prologue because of like my first book was dedicated to my nani, and that was purely because all my life she's been like, if you do something big, dedicate it to me. So that was on her. But I think my mom's always been the silent sort of hero of my life who doesn't want any credit. So I think she deserves so much more than I
think all moms are the silent heroes and they never want any credit.
Yes.
So it would be very, very lovely on your part. So, what are your future plans?
Right now I think getting done with exams, want to study for that. But future plans, I want to sit for placements in college, work for a bit and then maybe go for an MBA. If I don't like the marketing sector, then maybe journalism. That's always been my fallback option. So
okay. You know what, I think that first you should try journalism.
That's what my mom says.
and then try marketing, because what happens is that a lot of times we have a certain kind of a thought process in our mind before we get on with a certain profession, and then when we do that, we think that we are good at it. You know, there are a lot of things that we are naturally good at.
That's true.
I think meeting you would do very well in journalism. Because journalism के लिए सबसे पहली चीज ये होती है that you have to be comfortable with people, you have to be comfortable with the unknown, and and you have to be smiling.
So. And if you talk a lot, I think you won the. I mean, I only talk, so.
So basically, you know, people should be your comfort, and I think which it is with you.
I like to be around people. So we're looking at different plans. Let's see how it.
And what about your friends?
So my friends, now I'm at a very weird stage where I'm very confused between when can I hang out with my school friends and my college friends. But I have a very good circle both ways. College, newer friends. School friends, I mean, I've known for very, very long now. So yes, I'm close to all of them. They all live around. We'll meet after this interview also.
Okay.
So yes, they're all around. They've been, I think, with me through a period which they never thought they'd see a friend go through. So yes, we're always going to be in touch. We talk every day. So it's a blessing.
What are the other things which are very close to your heart that you want to speak about in terms of your writing?
In terms of writing, I think firstly, like I mentioned, loss, because I think it's something which is the most paramount thing that's happened in my life so far. And I wouldn't say conquered because it's a lifelong thing, but I think because I've gone through it in such close quarters, I'd want to talk about it so much more than I do. Because I don't think right now I'm old enough to get platforms to talk about grief and loss, but when I do, I'd want to take them on head on because it's something I feel so passionately about. Other than that, definitely youth in politics is something that really mesmerizes me. When I see college kids go on protests or talk of something so passionately which they feel so strongly about, it really motivates me to say and do a lot. Maybe wanting to write about that a bit.
Yeah. So all the best to you, Aashna. May you write about everything. May you keep inspiring people, and may the people who look up to you get to learn a lot of things from you. All the best. I get to know that you are dabbling into journalism, and
I'll text you first.
Yeah, you're trying your hand at it, because you would be very good.
I hope so. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
What a strong and a positive girl Aashna is. I have had so much of learning from Aashna today, and I hope it's the same with you. Wishing her all the best, and thanking each and every subscriber and each and every viewer.